Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel Creative Grandma. It's yarn swatch time and this video is all about the new Premier Puzzle Cotton yarn. Now I showed this yarn about a week ago on the internet. I didn't have my order yet. My order just came and I ordered 5 different colorways and I crocheted them up, and I want to show you my samples, and I also want to talk about washing and drying with this yarn. Now this yarn said hand wash cold, do not bleach, do not tumble dry. So I did a wash and dryer test. I'm going to talk about the results, show you what it looks like if you throw it in the washer and dryer, and discuss some of the features and some of the feedback from other people. That way not only are you getting my opinion, you're getting everyone else's opinion too. So let me tell you about the Premier Puzzle Cotton yarn. They have 12 different colors available. It's 57% acrylic, 43% cotton. It comes in this large 7-ounce, 200-gram, 349 yard, 320 meter skein of yarn. It's classified as a number 4 medium weight yarn. It does say hand wash cold, do not bleach, do not tumble dry. The puzzle cotton features everything you love about the puzzle yarn in an all-season cotton acrylic blend. Beautifully wound into a unique beehive ball, each ball is made with multiple coordinating colors that combine to create ever-changing, softly blended stripes. This yarn is perfect for creating gorgeous sweaters, accessory, and yes, blankets. Now, I was a little leery because when I see hand wash cold, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, the first thing is I don't want to make an afghan with this yarn. Now, I love this colorway so much, I decided to start an afghan, so I am making an afghan with this yarn based on my washing and drying test. So let me show you the samples, let me show you the colors I got, and then I'm going to discuss my washing and drying, what happened, the results, and then I want to show you some feedback from other people. So I'm going to get started with this color because this was my favorite color. This is what I ordered in for a blanket. My living room, I have a brown leather sofa and my walls are painted this color like a pumpkin orange, and it just goes beautifully with my home decor. I love these colors together. So again, this was the color Vista 2021-08. Now in my sample here for my afghan, I want you to ignore these 6 rows right here. So when you look at the colorway, now this is the alpine stitch. So when you look at this colorway, this is what it's going to look like worked up. And then I did 6 rows of a different color, and I'll explain what I'm doing with this pattern. And then what I did is I picked up where I left off from this color, started it again, and then I did 6 rows of another color. So I'm using 2 different colors for this blanket, and I'll show you the reason why. But this is my first sample. Now I did work up a full skein of yarn, and I measured how big my sample was with 1 skein of yarn, and I did take out the second color. I measured from where I started with the Vista up to where I changed colors, and then I measured from the Vista again up to where the skein ran out. So the sample measures 50 inches across, and it measured 9.5 inches tall with the 1 color, with just this color, not including this. So that's a pretty large sample, 50 inches across by 9.5 inches tall, and that was doing the alpine stitch. So it gives you a little idea of how far that 1 skein will go, depending on what you want to make. So again, this was my first sample, and just eliminate those. This was color Vista, and that was color 2021-08. So the next colorway I want to show you is Carnival. Now, I'm sorry I don't have a full skein because I got so wrapped up in starting this design that I only ordered 1 skein of 4 other colors, and then I ordered all of this color for my blanket. But when I seen this color when it came in, I wanted to use it with this blanket. I thought this would be so pretty if you mix the Carnival with the Vista and you get more of the darker orange, you're getting more of that bright gold, and you're adding a touch of blue. And then you have a little bit of that orange and blue. So when you combine the two together, it adds that beautiful touch of blue to the sample. So let me move these so you can see again. And I'm using them right off the skein. I'm not color controlling the design. I worked the Vista up. I did 12 rows, and then I did 6 rows of the Carnival because I only had one skein. And then I did 12 rows of the Vista. And then you can see I did 6 rows where I got into that blue again with that lighter gold. I wanted to combine a little more color in the blanket and give it a little more interest. So again, 12 rows of the Vista and then 6 rows of the Carnival. So I'll probably have to place another order and get probably one more skein of this to finish off the blanket. But I just thought those two went very well together. And this is really pretty, and I'm sorry that I don't have a single sample, but you can see how it does work up in the stripes in that color. And then these 6 rows are the Carnival. And then let me bend this down. This would help. So then if you look at this, this is what the Carnival would look like worked up, those rows together. I just thought they were both really, really pretty. So again, that was the Carnival color number 2021-12. The next puzzle cotton yarn I chose was this beautiful pinks and yellow, just a very pretty colorway. And this is color Sunrise, color 2021-03. So let me grab my sample. So here is my sample, but this one just blended together really well. If you really look close, you're going to see a little bit darker pink here. And then there's another shade of pink that runs about right here. You can see that different shading. And then there's a wider patch here, just a pink with a little brighter white. And then over here, you're going to see the pink, and then it goes back to just a little bit faded color. And then you're going into the pink and the gold. And then up here, you're going to see that really dark pink. And I stopped there because I wanted to have enough for you to see what the yarn looked like. So this is the sample. I'm just going to measure the sample because this is just a small portion of the skein. This sample measures about 21 inches long by about 8.5 inches wide. So that is the measurement for the sample, and you still have all this yarn left over. So it does go pretty far for one skein. Now, I did forget to tell you the most important part of the yarn. It's $10.99 a skein. And sometimes you're paying a little more for these very unique yarns. So that, again, was color Sunrise, color 2021-03. The next colorway is color Earth Tones, color 2021-11. You're going to see those darker, almost grayish brown, and then you're going to go into some of that lighter brown and the tans here. And then when you look close inside, you're going to see that lighter color here. So let me grab my sample. And when you look on Premier's website, they do show you a knit sample. It's also on the label of how those colorways work up, so you at least have an idea of how the colorways look. So let me grab my crocheted sample. So here's my crocheted sample, and you can see how those colorways go across. Very beautiful, this one. These earth tone colors, and if anyone watches my channel, you know I like the brighter colors. But man, they're coming out with some of these neutral and earth tone colors that I'm really falling in love with. So I always say, step out of the box, do something different, try a new color, because even I get stuck with using the same colors over and over. And when they come out with these unique yarns where the colorways are already mixed together, it really solves a lot of problems for any of us who have trouble putting colors together. So this is just gorgeous, and it does truly match what's on the label label. You can see that tweedy look here. You can see it going into the lighter colors and then that tan color and then going back into that darker color. And again, this is a sample and I still have all this yarn left over. So that would make a beautiful scarf for the winter time season. So again, that was my sample, and you can see how it beautifully blends those colors. And this again was Earth Tones color 2021-11. So the next color I'm going to show you is called First Bloom. You can see it has those darker blues mixed with pink and then a lighter blue and then that darker bluish gray with the pink. This is what it looks like. You can see that tweed effect in the yarn and then those solid colors. So let me grab my sample, and I just noticed I have 6 colors and not 5 to show you, so I did order half of the 12 colors. So this is color number 5, and then I have one more to show you. So let me grab my sample. Now for this sample, I decided to do a granny square because I know so many people enjoy doing the granny squares, and this is a way to see how the yarn looks when you're crocheting round and round and round the 4 sides. So I just thought it was beautiful with those dark blues. It has that lighter blue, the dark blue, it goes into the pink, and then the lighter blue, and then it has that mixture of color, and then it's just going to repeat those colors. So I just thought it was really pretty. And again, when you look on the label, you're going to see how those colorways look when you knit up a sample. So really great that they're starting to do this, because even though it's knit and it's not crocheted, it still shows you how the colorways come out of the skein and how they're dispersed throughout the work. So I thought that was pretty. But you can really see it does make a difference depending on what stitch pattern you're doing and how that yarn's going to look, because doing a granny square looks completely different than doing a knit back and forth piece. So it really does show you that depending on what you're going to make, it can have a completely different look depending on what stitch pattern you're using, if you're going back and forth, if you're going diagonal. It's just all in how you use the yarn of how it's going to look. So again, this is a great example of at least seeing how those colors come out. Because say if you do a corner to corner, you know you're going to have a dark color, then it's going to go into the light pink, then the blue, and then the darker color again. So you can imagine how that's going to go diagonal across your work when you're working on it. So Premier, thumbs up that you're starting to put a picture of what this yarn looks like, because if you see this yarn in a store, it is really helpful, because when you're just looking at the yarn, you have no idea of how that's going to look until you actually work up a sample. And if you do get a yarn and you start playing around with it and you don't like how it looks, then change your stitch pattern. Work and see if you can find a stitch pattern that you like that complements the yarn and the stitch pattern together. So let me show you the last color I purchased, and then we'll talk about the washing and drying test. Now this last colorway I purchased was really soft, pretty colors. You're going to see white with a really light blue. You're going to see pink with that white. You're going to see lavender with pink. And then you're going to see some lavender with blue. And then back up here, you're seeing that lavender with blue. But just very soft, beautiful colors of blues, pinks, and lavenders. And then when you look on the label, again, you can see how softly those colors blend together. And this is color Taffy, color 2021-05. So then I wanted to compare, this is the Taffy and this is the First Bloom. And I thought these two would work well together in the same pattern that I'm using for my Afghan, because you're going to get the tonal effect of both the darker blues and darker pinks. And then you can mix it with this one where you're getting the lighter blues with the pink and a touch of lavender. So if you crochet like maybe 12 rows like I'm doing in the darker color, and then you mix maybe 6 rows of the lighter color, then go back to the dark, mix the light, It's just so many possibilities when you look at these yarns. So when you're making an Afghan, again, think outside the box. Add a different color to add more colors to your project. So that is just one idea of what you can do with these yarns. So again, the color I'm showing you now is Taffy. It's color 2021-05. So let me show you my sample. So here is my sample, and this is a smaller sample, but you can see how it has the pink and then that tweedy look, and then it goes back into like a lavender type color, and then back to the blue and a lighter color. And look how much I have left over. Just used a small portion of the skein. Now this sample may look a little different because you're going to see a little bit of fuzziness on the outer edge. I threw this sample in my washing machine and I washed it on warm water. And then I threw it in a hot dryer. And I just thought, what is going to happen to this yarn if I really throw it in a hot dryer? Well, it came out and I thought, well, I don't see anything wrong with it except it got a little bit of that fuzziness. Let me get it up here so you can see. Can you see that little bit of fuzziness? Almost like a mohair look. And that was just on the outer edge. The inside I thought looked okay. You can see a little bit of fuzziness. Okay, I don't see any problem with it. A little bit of fuzziness, I don't care. I like fuzzy blankets. So then I thought, okay, well that was only one test. So I decided to throw it in the washer again. So I threw it back in the washer. I washed it a second time on warm water. And I threw it in the dryer on hot heat again. And it still come out okay to me. Now the only thing is it did shrink. Now I did measure my sample before I washed it for the first time. I didn't know I was going to wash it the second time. That was a spur of the moment just to do it again to see the effect. I wish I would have measured it the first time because now I don't know if it shrinks every time you wash it or if it just shrinks the first time. But this sample measured 12.5 inches wide before I washed it. So now it measures about 11.25 inches. So it shrunk about 1.25 inches. So if you are going to put something in the washer and dryer or you're going to make something, then take that into consideration that the yarn will shrink if you throw it in the washer and dryer. My sample also measured 12.5 inches long. So I'm just going to spin this around and measure it. And again, it measures 11.25 inches. So it shrunk 1.25 inches. So I didn't think that was too bad. So the Afghan I am making it 50 inches across just because if it shrinks when I throw it in the dryer, it's still going to have that leeway for shrinkage. So that is something you have to consider when you're reading these labels, what might happen when you put it in the washer and when you put it in the dryer. But I am happy with the yarn. I love the colors I picked, and I'm going to make my Afghan because I don't care if it shrinks a little bit. Now I do want to give you some feedback, and I do want to discuss one of the feedbacks that I've seen on the website. So when you get on Premier's website, there is a spot where when you go down underneath the yarn, you can see what other people are saying about the yarn. Because this is a brand new yarn, there was only 3 reviews, but I wanted to go over them because when I do my yarn swatches, when I do my videos, I give my honest opinion of what I think. But my opinion may be different than yours, and it may be different from someone else's. So it's always good to get everybody's opinion, and then you have to judge for yourself. Now the first review said, love the colorways. I like this yarn. I think it is definitely a 4-weight and the colorways are pretty. I purchased the color Vista, which is the color I purchased, and it is beautiful. I would recommend this yarn. And then you can see that this was by Susan. She's a verified buyer. Now the reason I'm going over these reviews is because some of them have a good opinion and there is one that has a negative opinion, and I just wanted to discuss that a little bit. The next one is also by Susan. It may be the same Susan. It says, beautiful yarn. I love this yarn. I read another review and could not believe she bought the same yarn because she gave it a 1 star. I am making the pearl fan throw in the fog color and it is beautiful. I bought an extra ball because I wanted it a little longer and I could not be happier. This is a gift from my daughter-in-law and I am sure she will love it. I am using a number 9 needle to get the gauge shown in the pattern, and it works great. So that is another review. And the last review is someone who did not like the yarn. Now the next review is a do not recommend this product. It's by Debbie A. And Debbie says, lovely yarn, but it is not a number 4 weight at all. So thin, it's more of a number 3 weight. Not what I thought it would be. Wanted to make an Afghan because of striping. 2 strands is not what I want to do. If I can return for free, I will. So I'm just going to move this aside because she is saying it's not a 4-weight yarn. So I just want to do a comparison. This is the Premier Basic DK. This is a number 3 lightweight yarn. And this is the Puzzle Cotton, and it's supposed to be classified as a number 4 medium weight yarn. So I'm just going to lay the DK next to the Premier Puzzle Cotton. Again, the blue is a 3 lightweight, and the Premier Cotton is the 4 weight. So you can judge for yourself what you think of the weight of the yarn. Now, most yarn companies try to use the standard weight measurement, but sometimes you can purchase a yarn that might say a 3 and it might be more like a 2. I mean, they try to use the standards, but sometimes, depending on the yarns, it may feel different. But I did want to show you the comparison between a 3 lightweight and a 4 weight yarn, so you can just judge for yourself. So those are the 6 colorways that I showed you today. Now remember, this sample here was included in my sample, this first sample I showed you. Beautiful colorways. I hope these yarn swatch videos are helpful to you by showing you more detailed information, showing you the colorways, and really helping you make a more informed decision about the yarns you want to purchase. And I can't wait till I get my Afghan done. I'll be bringing that crochet tutorial to you when I get my Afghan finished. Now I'll put a special link in the description box underneath the video. It'll take you directly to the Premier Puzzle Cotton webpage, and then you can review all 12 colors they have available. Now I do use an affiliate links for Premier Yarns. I am an affiliate of their yarns. I use their yarns in many of my designs. I love their yarns, and I love showing you their yarns. So thank you everybody for stopping by today. I hope this video has been helpful, and I really hope it helps you make a more informed decision of the yarns you want to buy. So until next time, happy crocheting everyone.